How's it going, Bucs fans? Rachel West here along with Rick Stroud and Joey Knight. And we've got some Thursday night football coming to us this week, guys. Bucs hosting the Ravens back in Raymond James Stadium. And Rick, I'm going to start with you because I think the most important thing to cover here, the laundry list of injuries that the Bucs have heading into this game. It's offense, it's defense, it's everybody.
Yeah, that's the problem with Thursday Night Football. It might be easier to list who can play, but I think you start. The most interesting one is Luke Gedicke's out, and that means that you're going to have Nick Leverett start at guard. And some Bucs fans might be happy about that, but this is Nick's chance. He played about 20 snaps in the last game, did a pretty good job. On defense, though, is where they're really hurting. The defensive secondary in particular. No Carlton Davis, no Antoine Winfield Jr., no Sean Murphy-Bunting. That's tough duty against a guy like Lamar Jackson. Not only a good runner, we know he has more rushing yards than the Bucs do, but he can also throw the football, and so they're going to be shorthanded there. Akeem Hicks is doubtful. We haven't even seen him even that close before, and Julio Jones will be a game-time decision. So, that's the problem with Thursday Night Football is you don't have enough time for recovery, and it's really about who's healthy.
Yeah, they're shorthanded on a short week, Joey. After the game last week, Todd Bowles said they need to make some changes. I think it's clear to everyone that they need to make some changes. What they're doing right now is not working. But how much can you really change in this short week?
Well, you can't make wholesale changes, and I know a lot of Bucs fans want some really radical changes, but think about it. You've got literally about 72 hours to prepare for a very tough AFC opponent who you don't see very much. So they're going to talk through their problems in meetings and walk through their problems, and that's what they've done these past 3 days. They haven't been hitting each other. They've done a lot of meeting work, and that's all you can do. Todd Bowles, I asked him the other day, how much change can we expect in such a short turnaround? And he said there are changes that we have been talking about in recent weeks, and I'm paraphrasing, and we're still working through those changes, but otherwise, with such a short turnaround, you can just tweak some things. So we may see some changes in how they look cosmetically, but I don't think you'll see any wholesale changes. You'll just see a team trying to improve on what they're currently doing.
One change they're going to have to start making, Rick, is scoring more points. That's obviously been a big issue throughout the season. So how in the world do they go about doing that?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, they're under fire. And Byron Leftwich, it starts with him, the offensive coordinator. Again, not much you can change in a short week on offense either. But they've got to get more production from the run game. I think it starts there. I mean, they are one of the worst rushing teams per average. They are the worst, historically bad. And in the first 2 games when they won, they ran it about 48% of the time. In the 5 games where they've had this 4 out of 5 game streak going, they've run it about 24% of the time. So more rushing attempts is a good place to start. I know it's hard to beat your head against the wall, but you got to protect Tom Brady. And really, it's about extending drives, getting some splash plays. They've had very few plays over the top. We saw Mike Evans drop a ball that started the game that could have been a totally different outcome, maybe if he catches that. They need more downfield throws. Tom Brady is getting rid of the ball really fast. He doesn't trust his protection. Maybe he will in this game, but they need it across the board. And they need points. I mean, it's really about points. You can't score 3 and win, and that's what Byron Leftwich said the other day.
Absolutely. And on the flip side of that, Joey, the defense, they've got their work cut out for them this week in trying to stop Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, probably the premier dual threat in professional football between he and Josh Allen. And again, it's an opponent they don't see very much. I don't think this team has played the Ravens since 2018, I believe, Rick. I may be wrong on that, but bottom line is it's a team they're not terribly familiar with. And you throw in, what we've seen the past couple of weeks, it's just so uncharacteristic of a Bowles defense. Not very gap sound, terrible lack of communication. We saw that down the stretch against Pittsburgh. The team is coming out defensively and playing well the first half, and it partially into the second half. It's down the stretch where, for whatever reason, we see a meltdown and we just see a lack of focus. So I think, during these walkthroughs and talkthroughs that we've been discussing here, I think that's really what they've been hitting home, staying gap disciplined, keeping good communication, just following your assignments and, not trying just to do too much and be a hero on defense. So personally, I think we're going to see a more shored up defensive effort Thursday night. But again, they're facing one of the ultimate weapons in the NFL.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they can get this train back on the tracks, or as Tristan Wirfs put it yesterday, turn the pirate ship around.
Right.
Come Thursday night as they take on the Baltimore Ravens. Make sure you guys are keeping up with all of our Bucs coverage that we've got for you over on social media at Sports by Tampa Bay Times, as well as over at tampabay.com.